Hello and welcome to the Tug of War Mad Moon tournament, where we are getting started with the first of the group stage games. My name is Nomad, and joining me is my Farah here on the B stream as we get started with Nigma versus Ninjas in Pyjamas in a best of 3 series to find out who's making it through to the upper side of this GSL groups and who's going to be knocking it down and possibly facing elimination versus the other team that loses in these best of 3 starter matches. There are 4 matches going on across all the streams, and of course you can catch all the fancy production of beautiful people over on the mainstream, but over here we are going to get into this one. Mo Farah, give us a rundown of both of these teams, because if you were somehow in a coma for the last couple of weeks, then you'll probably be like, well, this is going to be a stomp for Nigma. I can't see Ninjas in Pyjamas standing a single chance, but actually, that's not the way things be, do it?
No, not at all. We've had a bit of a shake-up. Oh no.
No, I've got you way loud. There you go.
Well, sorry for everybody's ears. We'll blame the production crew for that. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's on them.
So Ninjas in Pyjamas, they had a really good showing in the qualifiers, it has to be said. And they made it through to the major, which is pretty crazy considering before all the qualifying started, everybody was saying how, there were 5 big teams that were vying for the 3 slots to the major. And NiP weren't even one of the top 5 that was supposed to be in contention. So they've done a fantastic job for themselves. Nice to see a UK player get there as well, for us specifically, but they've been looking pretty hot. Nigma, on the other hand, they have not been looking so hot. They lost the minor final in the qualifiers to Alliance 3-2. And if you didn't watch that game, it was a great series overall, but there was some very questionable decisions, I think, going on.
Right, so there's a bit of echo, so I've just turned that off, hopefully. But yeah, Nigma, it's hard to really criticize them too heavily because these were like the hardest qualifiers we've seen in a very, very long time. This was really like fiery qualifiers, both the minor and the major. We had Secret, we had Alliance, we had Liquid, we had OG, this was the hardest it's ever going to get. But at the same time, you do expect Nigma to qualify for these kinds of events, and the fact they didn't even get to the minor definitely leaves them in a bit of a shaky situation. But at the same time, I'm really hoping that we're going to see a woken up Nigma from right now, because I'm sure when they signed up to this this tournament, they said to themselves, all right, we are going to be going into this one, and we don't want to be focusing too much on this one because we've got the minor and major coming up, so we'll just go to Ukraine for the Mad Moon tournament, hang out. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, well, actually, this is the only tournament we've got coming up for quite a long time now. This is it. We need to perform. We need to make our mark because we don't have a minor or major to go to anymore. So maybe this is going to be seeing the awakening of Nigma. But at the same time, Ninjas in Pyjamas, they need the practice. They're going to be fighting hard for this one. Ninjas in Pyjamas are still trying to make the name for themselves, especially PPD. And this man is hungry. He spent far too long being what you would probably say is a tier 2 team. And now I think it's time for PPD to rise back to the top like a phoenix from the proverbial ashes. So, we got a bit of a draft in our hands, my Farah.
Yeah, so, Slada's been Nigma's go-to hero as like the opening, whenever they can get their hands on it.
Yeah.
Le Balanced Fishman has been ruining pubs everywhere, I think. Really strong hero at the moment. And then I like Ninja's return, though, in response. They go for this Nature's Prophet and the Mars. Nature's Prophet is something they can play anywhere through from position 3 to position 5. So they have 3 players on their team that can play it. It's a really good flex pick for them. They pick up the Mars as well, gives them some good team fight to work around. I know Lelis has been playing very well on that hero whenever I've seen him. So I like to see that. And that's a pretty early PL pick, though. Interesting. So,
5 seconds
this PL pick, they haven't got anything massively that deals with it at the moment. Slada's decent in the lane against it. Any kind of melee hero doesn't enjoy laning up against the fish. But overall, you have the Dispel from the Doppelganger to get rid of Corrosive Haze. It gives you a win condition hero early on as well. I don't mind this too much. One of the better carry heroes going at the
moment. Alrighty, so PL Nigma, they got a minute and a half to go. We've seen a ton of Chen from these guys as well, and I'm interested to see that they're not changing things up. They're sticking with what they know and love, basically, with the Chen. You know, they had 7 picks of it in this patch so far, out of, you know, I think about 11 games or so, 7 Chen picks. So it's got a 57% win rate ratio for them, so definitely not looking too bad there. But
I think when you're looking up, picking up the Slardar though as well, having this hero that can bring the Slardar across the map to make these rotations with the Chen is really strong. Because like you bring this Slardar into another hero, so you have Slardar +1, and you know all of a sudden that person's probably dead that they're going to be ganking. It's all about, you know, gaining map control, being able to make plays, making moves across the map. And obviously, I think a lot of teams have their position 5 hero that they're comfortable with, right? And Nigma's, I would say, is, you know, their go-to is definitely Chen. They seem really happy playing that at the moment, like you say. And the Void pick's interesting as well. So, you know, really good lockdown for the PL. We said they needed a way of dealing with it. But again, it's another hero that they've been pretty comfortable picking. So, not seeing anything, you know, not seeing too much of a shake-up.
Yeah,
that's the way of saying.
Then it's not like, you know, Nigma are like, oh god, we didn't do too well. Now time to completely throw it out the window, start from fresh, you know, bring a completely new strategy to the board. No, this is Nigma we know and love, and yeah, they're going with the Void. I like the Void as an answer to the PL as well. Even though PL's got pretty high armor, it's still just something to lock him still and make sure you can get through his defensive quite easily. Interesting. I don't know. It's interesting that we haven't seen the Void Spirit so far from either of these teams.
I know WeHas played it in the past, but I don't think I've seen anyone on NiP play it. I'm pretty sure. I think Void Spirit's kind of one of these heroes that people are still umming and ahhing a little bit about. I know in NA though, for example, they were loving it. They were like picking it every single game. But
they were playing it in EU as well.
Yeah, in EU it's a little bit more of a kind of, are we 100% sold on this hero yet? And that's kind of where it falls into a bubble with me as well.
Yeah. Well, I can maybe spoil here because Tanner's had 21 games this patch so far on Void Spirit, his most played hero of the patch outside of private lobbies. So in pub games at least, we know he's been practicing the hero. And Ninjas in Pyjamas, they go for the Shadow Demon. Interesting pickup here.
I mean, the Shadow Demon is really good, as they saved against the Chrono and the Void. It's really good against the Slardar as well, being able to purge him off. You know, he's quite a hero that's reliant on his maneuverability. Same with the Darkseer as well, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
But when you have these two melee heroes in the Void and the Slardar that can make use of this Iron Shell, it kind of enables them a lot more early on in these team fights.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Surge as well. I mean, you have more AoE damage as well, which is nice. More this like Slardar Darkseer combo that we've seen from them before is also really nice. You have the vacuum into the Crush. You know, you can vac into the Chrono as well, which is nice.
Yep.
I wonder which one's going to be the POS 4. I would assume it's Slardar POS 4 for GH, but I'm not going to assume anything.
Yeah, it's dangerous to do so when you're casting Nigma games. Assume nothing and just assume that you're an idiot, because compared to Kuro, we kind of are. Mars for NiP is a bit of an interesting one. I don't think we talked about that one so much, but they love this hero. You know, it makes a lot of sense because Lelis seems to have a really nice time when he's playing Mars. They can flex it around a little bit if they want to as well. You know, I know Tanny plays it at mid, decent amount, maybe not so much in official games just yet, but it's definitely something which you shouldn't be surprised to see. So definitely keep an eye on this Mars pick, and don't be surprised if it ends up somewhere you're not expecting. But generally, this is Lelis's favorite. I mean, they've really highly valued this Mars pick for him, and it works well with the Prophet as well. Got the trees into the spear. You know, it's cute.
I'm really liking this Darkseer pick though. They don't really have lanes or supports in the laning stage that deal too well with the Darkseer. I think, you know, if you get to the level 3 on the Darkseer mark, you're kind of don't really do anything anymore to you. You can skip the waves if you want as well. Yep. You know, what does a Nature's Prophet and a Shadow Demon do at that point? Yeah, they can spam Shadow Poisons out on you and whatever, but when there's a Slardar with you cutting, you know, behind the tower, it's pretty scary. So we're looking at probably the mid heroes for both teams left.
Is it not important to mention that Shadow Demon can disrupt whenever you use that surge, so it can actually put you in a couple of bad positions as a Darkseer?
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. And going into the mid game as well, the Purge at the level 6 is really good at taking off, you know, the Iron Shell, the Surge. Huge. But the disruption's okay. I think he has to be careful though, because if he uses it aggressively early on, you know, the Darkseer Slardar can just turn around really quickly. You know, double Iron Shell. You got to be really careful.
True, that was going to swing both ways. And the final pick from Nigma is going to be the Leshrac coming out for them. Okay, well, going for the full purple strat here. Have to note that as well. But yeah, Leshrakt's going to be the final pick, offering them a lot of damage, which is something which I feel like their draft was lacking, but also has that physical edge as well with the Edict, which combos up really nicely with the Sladar's Corrosive Haze. You know, it's some cute little synergies here in this team. I like what Nigma's throwing down here, and I think this Leshrakt patches up the holes, especially in the early mid damage they were lacking in gank potential previously with this Void, which they now have. So I do really like this Nigma draft, actually, and it matches their logo perfectly.
True. Maybe that's they're being forced to draft purple-blue heroes just to
by their branding
team
team
sponsors and
choose your hero.
The Lesh that pick is really interesting for me because can you imagine like a Weehaw Lesh being surged in by Darkseer? It gives them really good wave clear as well, which they're kind of lacking a little bit of.
Yeah.
And when you have this Chen hero that wants to be pulling like the Slardar, the Void around to make plays, you kind of want to make sure the lanes are being shoved in so that they can't. So you're going to be off map more, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like if you quickly shove the lanes in, the Chen can kind of push through the jungle a little bit easier, pull these heroes through. But the Lina in return is an okay pick, I think. You want a hero that can blow up the Void really quickly before he can get the Time Walk off as well. Something that lanes up against the Lesh pretty well. Lesh doesn't really ever get on top of the Lina early on. So Tanner should have a relatively good time in the laning stage early on.
10 seconds.
Yeah, they really needed the burst, I feel, because when you're playing against the Void, you already know that you have to burst him down as quickly as possible, and then you throw on Kuro's Chen on the back of this, you know he's going to be there with the mech and the Hand of God healing him up, so you just need a ton of damage to just absolutely throw the whole kitchen sink at Miracle and see if you can bring him down in time. And same with the Leshract, to be honest, you do not want this Disco Pony jumping around your team and just doing tons of damage and taking down those PL illusions as well. The PL Leshract matchup is a bit of a weird one because they both have very kind of interesting timings which kind of counter each other. When the PL gets this diffusal, there are sometimes a few minutes where the Leshract hasn't had a great laning phase where he feels a little bit poopy on the map because he's just going to get his mana drained off by these illusions, and it's very frustrating, especially when that mana comes out as well. But at the same time, often Leshract can have a good enough start to the game where he can get, these Bloodstones, the Yules is out, the Kaya's, out online, these efficient items to keep his mana pool up, to keep him a little bit tanky, and just make sure that he's not really getting all his damage drained by the hacks. So I think it kind of swings both ways, but overall I think it's a little bit Leshract favored, especially when you look at the timings. He can push down Dahak and put a lot of pressure on him, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think you're going to be seeing that from Weehaw this game. You want to give Miracle a little bit more space on the Void to come online. I think Weehaw does have to be worried, though, about like a PPD rotation coming towards the mid lane. If you get a Sprout followed up by an LSA, Lina has the potential to thread a lot of damage to that Leshract. So let's see what PPD can do in terms of making rotations across the map. And I haven't seen too much POS4 Shadow Demon recently, so this is pretty cool. Lots of blow-up potential in terms of the laning stage with the Mars.
Yeah, absolutely. There's interesting things coming out from NiP. Well, that's going to be on the Mars here as well. As expected. Nothing crazy coming out from NiP just yet. No Void Spirit either, but we've got a different kind of Void, so I guess I'll settle for that.
Yeah, it's interesting as well, because Nigma in the qualifiers, whenever I seem to watch them, they were running tri-lanes a lot of the time as well. Kind of giving my control a solo lane. I know, depends on whether he plays Darkseer on Omni-Knight, but I think when you have the Slardar as the POS for this game, you really want to be able to try and pressure the laning stage early on. Make sure PL doesn't have a good start, that kind of free farm at the start of the game. He's a big win condition hero here, and if you can shut him down, I kind of think he's the only major worry for you.
Yeah.
Unless this Lina goes, just completely pops off.
Yeah, what do you think about the Lina? Are we going to be seeing classic kind of magical damage where she goes for like the Yules into Aghanim's, or are we expecting maybe picking up that value Chrysalis, which we've seen on so many mid laners recently?
Yeah, I think when you're playing against a Void, it's really difficult to play like a single core lineup with any kind of carry, because all of a sudden, your core gets chronoed up, they die, and you don't have any damage to back them up. Yeah, with the rest of your team. So I think Lina has to be looking at the potential to scale going into the mid to late game, making sure you go for that right click damage.
A lot of fighting going on for the runes right now, and it does look like Nigma are going to come out just about even here as NiP pick up 2, Nigma pick up 2 as well. But yeah, NiP really coming in and trying to contest these, but unsuccessfully so.
PPD starting with the Blightstone as well. One of the best things about this Prophet position 5 is being able to be a little bit more greedy with your item build early on. And then when you hit level 2, you can TP back to base, come back into lane again with the teleportation spell.
Yep, very obnoxious.
He's going to get the clarity as well.
Very nice mind control. Not feeling too good about that one as PPD just goes to town, right-clicking him down, whilst mind control tries to get over to that precious creep wave, but he's already taken a ton of damage here, so this isn't going to be a super profitable engagement for the Darkseer here, but he just wants to mess up these creeps as much as possible here. Yeah, puts the Iron Shell on the creep wave and just try and melt him down and go for a bit of a run whilst PPD continues laying into the guy. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, a little bit of interesting here. They managed to split the wave in two somehow, but yeah, I mean, it's probably going to see... Well, I imagine a little bit of advantage for Tanner, but then again, it is Weehaw. We know he's capable of pulling out some crazy things here. So.
Dire's top tower is under
Darks
attack.
isn't very deep though. He's getting currently blocked up by trees, but GH comes over to rescue.
Big brother comes over. Get off my side.
He's doing a good job denying some of the creeps though on PPD. Yeah, there's one of the range creeps go as well. So
Yeah.
mind control still yet to hit level 2, so that search not quite online yet.
PPD decides once it denies. If you've got 4 denies out of that wave, Jesus.
Yeah, look at the hack as well. You know, he's playing the efficiency game. He sees that they're cutting the creep wave. Just pull this double wave that you've stacked up yourself to the big camp. Make sure you farm both of them. He's going to be really happy.
Down at bottom, the only lane we haven't really looked at so far, but it's just Lelis laning up against Kuro and Miracle. Meanwhile, Universe going to be blocking and trying to be as annoying as possible. Stack up some poisons here and there. Just doing his thing.
Interesting that they're still just looking to skip the creep wave here, though. Up top, sorry. I mean, PPD's going to be level 1 for a while, I think, yet to pick up a single point of XP. I mean, you're kind of making the trade-off, though, that this PL is getting absolute free reign of the game. This is something I mentioned before, that is this what you really want to be doing?
Yeah, it's I'm not sure about that one, and PPD getting a ton of denies off here as well. It's just really good for NiP. Looks like he's struggling now with both the heroes coming in, and they're actually going for the kill right now under the tier 2 tower. Not too sure about this one, boys. That tier 2 tower certainly do hurt, and GH is figuring that one out the hard way as PPD just turns around and keeps on chasing them. You want a piece of me, boys? Come and get it.
Yeah, and they're starting to pull ahead, you know, in the laning stage for NiP as well. Like, especially this mid lane, 7 denies on Tanner as well. He's had a great start to this lane. And, you know, there's not too much Nigma can do early on to change the way that this is going.
Yeah.
You know, maybe if the Sala came bot, but then what does he achieve, really?
Ooh, PPD in some trouble. GH running him down. He's got the bash of the deep, and that's going to be a first blood coming through. Finally, they try to make something happen up here in the top lane and succeed. As Nigma will get a kill. Nice heads-up play from GH here. PPD, even though he's dead, he's still just trying to annoy this guy as much as possible.
I love it when Salas do this as well, and they put the point in sprint at level 3. I think in some, you know, sometimes, especially when you're pos 3, you put the 2 points in the bash, but I think a value point in sprint early on is, like, really value. It's a lot of movement speed, a lot of chase potential early on in some of the lane matchups you can get.
Do love those value points. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, not much to be said about what's going on down here, to be honest. Lelis is just doing pretty damn well versus the Void, breaking even pretty much. It's interesting seeing the difference between the Shadow Demon as a support and Kuro on his Chen here, and he's going to have to search pretty hard for the sentry, but we'll find it. As expected. Yeah, I kind of want to watch for a little bit and see how they're playing this lane, but there's so much action going on up at top. It's hard to focus on this bottom lane for too long.
Middle tower is under
Tanner
attack.
gets a regen rune. Instantly, he realizes that he's won the 50-50 war of the active rune. Says, that wasn't too bright. Bottles the regen rune. He's like, cool. This mid lane was already in my favor. I'm going to be loving life even more now. It's awesome.
He is really going to town on Weehaw right now. And Weehaw's down 13-3 to the Lena's 22-12. Not great as I'll trade stuns here.
I mean, you have to remember for Weehaw, this guy has a regen rune bottled. So, like,
Yeah.
whatever harass you're trading off against Selena, it's probably not worth it.
And he's had to pop the salve here as well. Come in, land the light strike array, light strike taking damage, does trade with the split earth, but as you say, this is by no means worth it. Hatana's going to pop that regen rune and continue laying down the pain on the middle lane. At least we will be able to cancel it out at the very least.
Yeah, but then
No,
he's
level
level
6.
6 now, the less you can fall. Like, look at Tanner, look at where he's positioned. He knows he can just push this Weehaw Lesh out the lane so hard.
It's an interesting one, but now GH is coming in from behind, but PPD immediately TPing over, making sure that Tanner's okay. Not willing to let GH find a successful rotation here. And I mean, to be honest, there's something particularly underwhelming about a Slardar rotation, isn't there? Just kind of comes slithering into the lane, stuns him up, and we just like, yeah, I don't really have it, don't really have it. really, but Kuro's coming in as well. This could spell danger. Split Earth comes down. Tanner, he should get brought down here, surviving just a long time enough here for U-VODs to come in, but unfortunately the stun comes out. Tanner is dead, and Nigma, they're hunting for more here. They want to bring down U-VODs. The stuns are coming out. The damage is there. They're going to find themselves a second. PPD still trying to fight up into this one, trying to find something out of this engagement, but there's nothing to find. Kuro gets a little bit low here, but NiP are going to lose 2 in the middle lane. A bit of an unsuccessful rotation in from U-VODs there. He did get off the disruption, but unfortunately got nothing done with it at all.
Yeah, interesting as well. Hang on, is we are going to get the rune? No, he doesn't.
Yeah, GH does see it though, so he can take it if needs be. Actually, look for a bit of aggression here. PPD gonna make it over to the DD, does find it, now can start laying in the hut. Oh, okay, Laguna Blade comes down. Good night, GH. That is one roasted fishy.
Yeah, it's interesting though as well, because I thought NiP would be the ones looking to make the first move mid with the rotation, but I think Nigma quickly realised that we wasn't having a great time mid, and they had to come and sort him out. Take a look at the CS of the 2 carries though.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Mind Control's in from trouble down in the bottom lane as PPD rotating in with this DD, and with Poison step forward onto Mind Control, they'll be able to get themselves a Darkseer. Cheeky little kill down in the bottom lane, just making use of this double damage rune which PPD stole a little bit earlier on.
Radiant's bottom
Alright,
tower
carries.
is under attack.
Dahak. 61 and 7 compared to Miracle on 28 and 2. Oh god. Oh no.
Oh dear. This is the life you choose when you decide to coop skip, unfortunately. And you don't block the big camp. I mean, maybe they did. There's a sentry down, so I don't know if that got dewarded or not. But yeah, this PL having complete free reign of the game so far.
His build's very interesting though. This doesn't look like someone who's had a completely free game, does it? Going for the double bracer. This man expects to be in pain.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? I mean, when you're laning up against the Darkseer though, you've got the Lesh in the game as well. You want to tank up a little bit more than normal. Have a little bit more magic resistance. So I don't mind this too much. Kind of gives you those bridge items before you get the diffuser blade to fight. And then hopefully, when he gets that diffuser blade, because he has this double bracer, it's going to mean he can, get involved with these fights early on.
Onto Dahak. GH dropping pretty low here though as PPD comes in. They're going to be able to surge him up, but Dahak just chasing on forward with the Phantom Rush. Looks like GH is going to survive for now. They'll turn their attention to Mind Control, but he's got too much health, and there is too much farm for Dahak to be cleaning up elsewhere.
Down in the bot lane though. They got the arena down, followed it with the spear, used the Laguna Blade as well. And, yeah, Miracle just blew up. Was not close at all.
2 simultaneous fights on the map. Couldn't catch them both, but yeah, let's avoid going down. And just making Miracle's game even worse. What do you do now?
They are diving Dahak at this point. I mean,
they realize they need this one, but meanwhile they trade kills in the middle lane, but Dahak on the run. Looks like he's just about going to survive this one. Action across the map right now though, as We drops in mid. He does get the kill onto U-VODs as he goes down though, but yeah, definitely not really worth it. That's just a rotation in from the Shadow Demon, just setting up with the... I
mean, that was without Laguna Blade as well. I wasn't expecting them to make a rotation around the Lina because they just used the Laguna bot lane. But, I mean, the fact that Miracle is still level 5,
is under attack.
this PL is almost level 9. Like, it's really difficult for Nigma to make plays across the map at the moment. They don't have Chrono available, there's no Corrosive Haze either. Weehas had a really difficult start to the laning stage as well, so they don't really have a core hero that they can play around at this point. So they're kind of just falling but further and further behind.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Making a statement on Lelis right now, just chasing them down through the jungle, throwing in the stun and
Radiant's
running
bottom
away.
tower
Fair
is
enough,
under
he had a
attack.
spear the whole time anyway. It's going to be thrown down by GH. I mean, I kind of like what he's doing there, though. He's just kind of chasing Lelis out of this side of the map, He doesn't really care that they know he's got vision, because they're just saying, this is our area, We want to take over your jungle. And Lelis is actually in some trouble now. He's going to have to spear GH away, but Mind Control's still on top of him with this Iron Shell just ticking him away. Lelis, I think he might be out of options here. They're going to keep on chasing a TP coming in from Tanner. Lelis, though, running out of health, down to nothing. That's why he get off the Light Strike Array onto the Darkseer. Has the Laguna. If he wants to throw it out, U-VODs is here as well, and he's going to use that disruption very nicely just as the first come out. Light Strike Array to follow up as well. They've got the Laguna, don't need to use it though. Dragon Slayer's going to finish off the kill. GH goes down and NiP find yet another kill up here in the top lane. That said, it is only 5 for 5, and that was a trade as well. Taking down the 4, the 3, not quite worth it. Tanner still having a pretty awesome start to this game, as is Dahak, who is now heading towards the jungle as well. Go straight for the Asher.
It feels like they're being a little bit more greedy on NiP. They're not making the plays necessarily. They're kind of reacting instead to what Nigma are doing. And it feels so good as a leader when you can get those kills without using them doing the plays. Has to be said. Yeah. Gonna be feeling real good.
Yeah, still got that one in the piggy bank for later usage. Yeah, let's
Woke up though. Lelis and Universe.
Yeah, they are on the hunt right now.
And he uses the tome, just hits level 6 on the Shadow Demon. So we are gonna be.
They're baiting this pretty hard as well. We thinks he's safe, but in they go. In comes Destruction. Have they stunned up Tanner, so the follow-up stun from him is not going to be there, but looks like Lelis will be able to do it. Hand of God going to keep we are a little bit alive. Meanwhile, Tanner going for the TPL and PPD with the trees. Gonna save the day. Thank you, Captain. And now, well, it looks like the Shadow Demon's the one in trouble as he's got that corrosive haze onto him right now. Mind Control's going to run him down. Universe will drop. Meanwhile, Lelis, he's in some trouble as well. He's got to go as Nigma get themselves 2 return kills, and now the Chronosphere coming down onto Lina as well. Whereas the follow-up, do they need it? It looks like GH's going to come in flying over with the stun. They bring down Tanner. Nigma have found some pace here, but found themselves 3 huge kills in the middle lane. Some cute plays from NiP, but not enough to turn things in their favor. Still very Nigma favored, and yeah, we might have a +1 here as he's forced to use the jump, but gets himself to safety. GH though, they've seen another one, and PPD stepping too far forward. He's going to get taken down as well. NiP need to pull it together here. They are giving away way too much in this middle lane.
I don't really know what they're looking to achieve there. They're kind of just running in one by one and just giving them, you know, these +1s. When you have Surge, when you have Crush available from the Slada that's constantly running at you with Tranquil's Windlace Faded Brooch, by the way, on the Slada. I think he has 440 movement speed when he's not in the river. Yeah, he's just gonna, you know, constantly look for these +1 kills if you give them to him. You've got to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, 509 movement speed on your position 4 Slada. That's pretty pleasant. Meanwhile, oh, okay. Darkseer gets brought down in the bottom lane. Deep dive from Tanner there as he's got those boots of travel to get those unexpected kills. A little bit of a turnaround, but goodness gracious, it's
in the jungle. They found Weeha.
He's going to get daggered up to the side of the pit, and this left rack, he's gone down once again. Weeha caught in the jungle. You can see why he's hanging out here. You know, they had the vision earlier on, and they have control of this outpost. You know, it seems like a good place to be, but unfortunately now they've got this ward down. NiP are really, really fighting hard to keep control of their own jungle right now, even though the PL's playing most of the bottom side of the map.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So they don't want to give away anything
Radiant
unnecessarily.
structures are fortified.
I think this diffuser blade on the PL is going to mean that they're going to look to try and really make something happen here now they're on NiP. You see Tanner kind of rotating towards bot. PL's TPing to the outpost as well. So they might be able to just jump the void here.
Yeah, they're trying for it. They don't have a time walk, and in the trees, they can't really get too hard for this one. A lot of TP points around here for Nigma as well, so a bit of an awkward one to try for it. Miracle actually queuing up the Battle Fury.
Is under attack.
This is an old school void.
That's not something I've seen in a while. I mean, it's okay. It allows them to just push out waves quicker. It allows them to deal with the PL illusions a little bit better, I guess, but not something I would have expected.
This is a surprise.
I guess they just feel like the game's probably not going to be, you know, finishing anytime soon. I think if they get into a bit of a spot of bother with their team fight, he might just have to go BKB next. You know, up against the Lina, up against the diffuser from the PL as well, but he really wants that item that allows him to scale a little bit more. And the Battle Fury definitely does that.
Push comes in up in the top lane. Nigma. They should get this one for free.
I think NiP should be happy with this, so if they can trade the towers. Slada's TPing in mid.
Yeah, they don't want to let it happen. It looks like they'll keep this middle tower alive for the time being, so still having that map control. Actually, KH, he's hungry, but PPD's going to get across to his side of the river, and that means safety. Well, Tanner annoyingly caught out by illusions here, so unable to find a jump. Still trying to find that Yules anyway, so probably won't see so much action coming out from him for a little bit.
Can we say, by the way, it's one of the better things in Dota that when you pick up an illusion rune and you taunt, your illusions taunt as well. So, like, you don't even have to be next to them to taunt them. If you look at Lesh, it's just annoying Tanner. He just taunts. It's all about the mind games.
Tanner in some trouble. Corrosive Haze comes down, stuns out as well. This is one dead. Lina, good night. The stuns are there, but it's not going to do anything. We are going to get the kill onto Tanner and claim this bounty room for themselves in the process.
Yeah,
I mean, they can do this. They've got
why not?
Slaughter. Yeah, absolutely. This is something you really need to be cognizant when you're playing against a Slaughter. This is one of the biggest threats on the map. Is this Roshan can just go down to pretty much any team. They are getting started now. NiP know about this one. They've got the Arena Flood to throw in here as well. PPD just come in and throw it in the trees to give them the vision. GH though jumping straight over towards PPD. Gonna take him out to fight on the sidelines already. Lelis coming into the pit. He's gonna throw down the arena, try and disrupt things a little bit. Roshan is low, as is Darkseer. They're fighting up into the middle of this one. Can they bring them down? Chronosphere comes out. We have mind control. They're both alive. Roshan finishes on mind control, and we will go down to the point of universe, but the hack is gonna know he jumps down. GH trying to follow him down here and will be able to grab that kill. Meanwhile, GH gonna get a double here as they get the net out onto the Mars, and in comes Miracle. Hey guys, how's it going? Takes down Lelis as well. NiP lose 2. PPD actually buys back into that one, making it 3, but unfortunately it is too late. The Roshan will go to Nigma here, and they continue this momentum going in their favor. NiP are not playing the game they want to play right now.
I mean, these iron shells, these surges, and GH on this Slaughter is enabling these heroes so much in these early team fights.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the constant corrosive hazes, you know, you're fighting in the river. GH goes, "This is my home. I dare you. Just come in."
To my den.
And he just positions himself between the Roche pit and the high ground and says, "If you want to come in, that's fine, but you have to come through me." I mean, PPD literally just TPs in straight away and dies. Yeah, and these, you know, great vac from mind control just into the Chronosphere as well. It was really nice. And I don't know if you saw just before that Roche, just as that Roche ended as well, mind control was bottom of net worth for his team. And if that doesn't say something about Nigma at the moment, I don't know what does. They are very happy to just, you know, not necessarily sacrifice mind control too much, but, you know, allow the net worth distribution to be different in their team compared to most.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different when you've got a Chen, because this guy just does hit jungle creeps a little bit more than most, but yeah, GH could be in some trouble now. The Diffusal Blade's out onto him. He's going to turn around with Corrosive. Mind Control coming in as well. He's going to give him that surge, and that is just going to be one very far. Jesus Christ. Look at him go. This isn't even a river. I do not want to see a surge Slaughter in the river, I don't think. Yeah, they've got the Yules, they've got Live Strike Array, Let's coming over as well, got a spin, throw in as well. They're just going to use the Laguna to make sure this one goes down. But Nigma, they see an opportunity right now, but they don't have a Chronosphere. They do have an Aegis. Meanwhile, Mind Control being oh my god, the damage coming into Wee from the high ground. Tanner's just right-clicking him up. Can they finish the job? Yes, they can. Down goes Weeha. Meanwhile, the arena's not going to get much done, but PPD's actually finished off by Miracle. Kuro taken out as well. Meanwhile, Mind Control getting controlled up right now as he gets God Refused back. Live Strike Array going to come down as well. It's going to be another kill for NiP. The hack. He's got this Diffusal Blade, and he is turning up to this bottom lane fight. 4 heroes down on the side of Nigma. They're just disappearing. Where did they all go?
Yeah, that was crazy, wasn't it? It's really difficult to defend those tier 2 towers on like either side if you don't have vision on the high ground. You see they have a ward that Kuroki put down just as he came through, but Tanner was literally sitting on the high ground just above the lane, completely controlling the whole fight. Like, he picks off the Slaughter first, turns a laser into Weeha afterwards, then picks up Kuro as well. There was you know, so much damage in that fight coming through from Tanner, and with the Yule setup now as well, they have so much, you know, pick-off potential in these fights.
Yeah, this is a big one. It means he doesn't have to rely so much on the Shadow Demon. That means he can focus on keeping his teammates alive with this disruption, or possibly even disrupting up those targets which get surged, which is very handy, or even if he can manage to catch out the Faceless Void before he gets off Chronosphere, just delaying that in the fight, all very useful. But, you know, this was a fight without Chronosphere, so this is going to make a bit of a difference the way things are going here for Nigma. You know, they've got the Chronosphere to fight into next time, but still, you know, should they have taken that fight? Should they just let the tower go?
It's a difficult call, isn't it? Because they're probably thinking, okay, well, we have Aegis, we should be able to take these fights now. You know, they've been going really well for us, but top lane, hang on.
Who's going on who right now? It's both Tanner and GH getting stunned on the front lines, and look at the damage coming down. They've got the Corrosive Haze on, but now with the Perth coming out onto GH, Laguna Blade coming down as well, and Leonard's going to God Refuse him off. Meanwhile, PPD does get run down by Wee, so they get at least one return kill, but they should. Oh, Chronosphere on the backlines. They're going to be able to take down Tanner here. They do have the damage. Miracle gets one. Now with Arena of Blood just trying to control up Wee, but Wee is in control right now. Miracle coming in as well, and this looks like Lelis is going to go down to make it a second kill for Miracle up here in the top lane, and he's looking for number 3, and with one bash he will get it. Miracle with the triple, doesn't even use his Aegis. This is a Battle Fury Void, by the way, just rocking up to these fights and dominating.
Yeah, but you have to remember with the Iron Shell on him as well, like there's just extra damage coming through, you know, 90 DPS that you wouldn't have otherwise. Yeah. They're doing a really good job on Nigma, like picking up Tanner at the start of every fight whenever they can. And if that Lina goes down at the start, their damage output on this dire side, especially if the PL isn't there, is just nothing. They don't have enough. I think this Mars, go for the Vlad's blink as well is really nice if they can get the initiation themselves, if the leaner can sustain through the fight, but he doesn't do enough by himself. Like, they don't have these items that allow them to keep the leaner alive at the moment. You've got the disruption save, but when it's being used aggressively, you've got to be a little bit careful.
Hard.
And he's almost got BKB on the Void as well. Like, this guy's been farming so quickly.
I mean, that's the beauty of the Battle Fury, This man, he hits creeps, he hits heroes, he hits everybody at a pretty disgusting rate, and I feel worried for NiP right now. They have got the Phantom Lancer, who has proven to be a late-game beast in many situations. Kuro might be walking into its demise right now. Yeah, I sure think so as the hack gets started. Everybody else, they're actually hanging out, smoked up behind, seeing if anybody comes in to save the captain, but nobody will. No one cares for Kuro.
GH blinks as soon as he hits his TP. LSA missing from Tan. Yeah, the problem is you're playing PL, which is a late game beast, but you're playing it against a Lesh, remember, as well.
Yeah,
so it's not like a massively free PL game. He has a BKB on the Lesh rack now too. Same timing as the Void, who's just got it come out on the Courier. So with this double BKB timing on Nigma, they should really look to try and make something happen here. They're kind of baiting out Miracle a little bit, just hoping that somebody will make a jump on it.
Yeah, I mean, Miracle... Yeah, he's just a beast right now. He doesn't have the Aegis, but I really don't think he cares. He's got the Battle Fury, he's got his teammates. And as you say about the PL, there's not that much to counterplace this Void. All they've got in terms of burst is really the leaner. And maybe a God's Rebuke helping out a little bit, but PL's not really a bursty hero. Meanwhile, what have they got to deal with the PL? Well, they've got a Battle Fury, they've got an Iron Shell, they've got a Lesh Rack, they've got AoE stuns galore. They've even got Centaurs they can throw into the mix from the Chen if they need to, They've got so much to try and control up and bring down and melt these illusions up that it does feel like just a fundamental core versus core outdraft maybe for NiP, but at the same time, I don't know, I'm never that worried if you have a PL in the late game. It doesn't matter how many counts you seem to have right now, this hero still seems strong.
You have to remember though that they did pick the PL up, relatively early in the draft. So
yeah, true.
They are kind of expecting it to be answered somewhat. It's just a hero that they really believe is strong, something that they think is, game winning.
I think it's mostly about
Void.
Sorry, go.
I was just saying, when this Void gets Butterfly, so he gets an extra +1 item, I think he's going to be like crazy to fight into. I don't know how you're going to be able to manage that.
Surge Void coming at the high ground run. Tanner, but GH does find the blink, does find the stun. They might throw down the Chrono as well. Miracle, how badly does he want it? Not quite badly enough, it seems. They're controlling up nicely, but in comes Weehaw with the haste rune just flying into the sidelines here. Leonard's just got to trap them in a little cage and allow his team to get themselves away. So NiP hold on for now, but it doesn't feel great having to run this hard away from Nigma. But this is what happens when they've got the Chrono Sphere, when your leaner is vulnerable like that. I think they're actually lucky she didn't really get Chronoed there, because if they did, then, well, I guess they've got the save from the Shadow Demon, they've got the Nature's Prophet as well, so maybe would have been a great idea.
I mean, this is the problem though, when you fight into this Void, they managed to pick him off really well at the start of the fight, right? Where they get the spear onto him, onto the cliff, but there's just no follow-up. Because there's just all these other heroes running at you, and GH is like a massive problem for the DICE side at the moment. He's kind of positioning himself in the fight, so you have to deal with him. And he's really not the hero you want to have to go on first. Especially when there's like a Void and a Lesh just behind him.
Yeah, and if you don't finish him off, he's just going to yeet away from the fights at like 1,000 movement speed, that doesn't feel great.
He actually didn't go for mech on Chen, by the way, either, which is interesting. He's gone for the Greaves on Darkseer. So just going for the Vlads into the Solar Crest.
Yeah, sorry, I saw that earlier with the Meg Pop from Mind Control. I like this a lot. Okay, Lashrak goes down the bottom lane. These global ganks from the Nature's Prophet and the Leaner are really hard to deal with.
We talked about it with the Chen being able to pull people across the map.
I feel like the moment
as well.
The moment Nigma slow down, this is what's going to happen. And again, in the mid lane as well, they're looking for GH right now. Disruption's going to come out. Just needs to hack top the defuse burst because they're trying to give Lelis space to come into this one. Oh, doesn't quite make it to the tree though. GH is going to live, gets himself to safety, and NiP will be left empty-handed in the middle lane at least. But they already got a kill at bottom, so I'm going to be super salty about that one.
PVD got the Courier though, so that's a kill. That's like 500 gold. And I love this as well. When you have the Tranquil Boots on the Slardar as well, it means you can kind of be aggressive in these fights. And then in between, you're like, well, I'm just going back to full HP.
Bounty's coming out, and it's going to be 2 for 2 as NiP controlling up the kind of right-hand side of the map. Nigma holding up the left-hand side of the map. Roshan is up though, and Nigma. They want to bring down Big Daddy Roche. I don't think it's going to take them very long at all, especially not with this Eagle song now finished up on the Faceless Void.
Yeah, I don't think NiP can come and contest this either. You know, they don't have vision set up. They don't, I mean, they've got this ward on the high ground, but it doesn't really offer you vision right into the Roche pit, which they need. You've got to be so careful.
Still swing quickly. Slada, what a hero. Yeah, absolutely no response from NiP here. They're just holding their high ground, waiting for the sweet release of death. Maybe not quite at that stage yet, but could feel like it a little bit.
Have we talked about the Axe on Tanner yet? I don't think we have, right?
No, it's something I was slowly getting towards, but yeah, not going for the chrysalis or right clicks, but instead going for that burst.
I mean, it's okay, but this is what I'm talking about, right? If one of the cores gets blown up in a chrono, it feels like they just don't have enough damage now from the other core.
It might be the case. I understand it though, because obviously we talked about how they need the burst to bring down the Faceless Void before he gets Time Walk and heals coming out onto him and everything, but at the same time, I'd kind of like to see that in the form of maybe like Chrysalis and I don't know. It still feels too slow. I think the Aghanim's is maybe what Tanner feels is the only option. Oh, now a Quickening Charm as well. That's gonna feel pretty good.
I mean, it is 950 pure damage before the Spell Amp talent. I mean, he could go for the Fiery Soul still. We'll have to see, but I assume with the Axe build. He's going Aether Lens next as well. Wow.
Jeez, that's bad. Well, he's gonna get caught out. Oh, see you later, buddy. This is when you ping the ward. Look, yeah, there it is, straight away. Ping the ward location. We've all been there, buddy. Don't worry about it.
Ooh, did they just smoked on the Dire side, looking to push down into the jungle. 14% spell amp on the Lina as well now, so over 1,000 damage Laguna. The Void just have to be a little bit wary at this point.
Yeah,
just half his health pool.
It certainly do be. And the Hat can easily pick up the other half, so they're going to send in some illusions just to scout the way. Miracle's like, something's wrong here. They're going to go on the backlines. Yeah, Slada controller. This is a great target. Can they finish the job? No, Hand of God going to heal him up so much. Let us moonwalking his way away from Miracle. There's so much damage coming out. Laguna even coming out onto TX. So finally finishes the job, and now the Chrono down onto Tanner. He's got a BKB as well with the wall coming down. Suck them both in. Down goes Lelis. It looks like Tanner's heading the same way. He's got no escape. Let's track array, but the BKB Miracle going to keep on chasing. Meanwhile, the Hack trying to control up this fight, trying to get something done, but with Weehard mind control, everybody all around him right now. Gonna try and go for the TP out here. There is no split up, and they don't have anything else to deal with him here, so he is going to be able to get himself to safety. Sentinel Conqueror is also on cooldown. Well, BPD is just like, oh, risky TP. Bit sweaty, but does make it out, but still, I gotta question the motives of NiP in that fight. I mean, yeah, GH is a problem, and you talked about him being this frontline hero who just causes such issues on the front lines, but if you blow all your damage on him, you've got nothing to deal with this Faceless Void, but then again, a Faceless Void with an Aegis, what are you going to do about him anyway?
That fight was so weird because they're playing as if they have no way of dealing with Chrono, right? Like they go in, they try and go on GH. He gets healed up twice by like the Greaves and the Hand of God, and they kind of like dwindle around a little bit. They have to accept that somebody's going to get Chrono. Like they need to have that save ready from Universe to keep somebody alive in the Chrono or something, because the way they're playing at the moment is they're so afraid to commit to these fights.
Control it quite nicely here. The rest of this team look like they're backing out, but we and Mind Control still hanging around a little bit, and Miracle actually just running himself forward. He knows how much they've got to heal him up. Those Greaves as well. Lelis, no, nothing going to come out in the end. That's going to be a full, clean getaway from Nigma. Top, yeah, Miracle looking for him. He's going to have to chase it a little bit further than this, but PPD does make his way out through the Tug of War, and this is going to be an H Prophet surviving. He's hanging around quite a long time here. Oh, Jesus, really get off my outpost. Christ. Alright. Thought you were just going to send over a stun or something like that, but Tanner's like, no, see you later.
That was, I don't know, a lot more damage than I was expecting.
Yeah,
but
right?
if you look at his health pool, you know, just over 1,000 pure damage when he has a 1,600 health pool, probably should have expected.
True, that's basic maths right there. And that's with the Spell Amp talent as well, so yeah. A lot of DMGs. Meanwhile, Weehard gets taken down by the Hack here as well. A great jump from NiP. Again, you know, the moment this game kind of falls off the accelerator from Nigma a little bit. It feels like NiP are just immediately taking their timings and trying to run down Nigma's throat. And especially with this heart on the PL, you know, this does change a lot. This is one of the Phantom Lance's biggest timings in the game when he hits this heart. So it's no big surprise to see NiP trying to play aggressively, but, you know, I do think it's worth mentioning... Oh, DPD. Okay, alright. I do think it's worth mentioning, though, how they're kind of abusing the global presence here and kind of finding... Oh, Universe, don't get back... Oh, look at a Chrono. Alright. See you later.
Sure, but why not?
He's looking for more here. He wants to hack, and he might well find him. The rest of his team coming over here. The doppelgangers... Yeah, I mean, he's not scared. Miracle, he's going to pop the BKB as well. Lina in a bit of a bad position, but now focusing on the PL right now. The Laguna comes down onto Miracle, but he just heals it all away. See you later. Time walk out, Hand of God as well. Now NiP trying to run themselves away, but Miracle is still giving chase. BKB from Lance is going to buy him the time. He needs to get himself back up to the high ground. GH trying to find his blink in here, but does keep getting cancelled out. NiP do get themselves up to the high ground. Looks like for now. Oh, they're going back in though to hack. He's looking onto the backlines here. Doesn't have that much mana to play with. Meanwhile, PPD is getting him run down by Weeha, so that's going to be the first kill here. Down goes the Prophet. It looks like Nigma are happy with this.
That's the dieback as well, because PPD and Universe both brought back into that last fight, so... Miracle might look to try and go here, but, I mean, 50 seconds until Chrono's still. They have to be a little bit careful. Anna's quite far up here as well. Oh yeah, he finds the Chen.
Hey, buddy. Yeah. Laguna. No, they're going for the budget kill. I don't need no Laguna. See what attack runs in. That's so
he has Vlad's Solar Crest on this Chen. It takes ages to bring down.
Yeah, that was a long time. I love this Phantom Rush info coming back over. Run over and whack somebody.
He really needs this MKB on the PL though. Otherwise they don't really have a way of dealing damage to Void at the moment. I mean, if you look at it, like the way they need to play these fights now is kind of dangle this PL at the front for the Chrono. You know, if he has this heart, he is really tanky at this point in the game. He's just lacking a damage item. So if you can get them to Chrono the PL, you know, you have the save from the Sprout, from the Disruption as well. Universe. Try and just keep that PL alive so Tanner can dish out his damage in the backline of these fights.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. I mean, I feel like Nigma are very much in the lead at the same time. You know, it's not a clear-cut game by any stretch of the imagination. There's so many scenarios which NiP can come out on top. Like, it just feels like a very evenly matched game, both in terms of skill and draft.
Yeah, I think we just have to remember, though, that this, like, Darkseer Slardar combo, right? Like, this Darkseer's enabling his heroes so that his net worth might be behind a little bit, but what he offers is just so much more in the team fights. Like, he has Telescope as well for the extra cast range, so get his Vax off, get his walls off. Oh, they caught the check.
Yeah, trying to go onto Kuro here, but we know how tanky this guy is. Even the arena coming down, GH and Kuro just happy to run around in it. Miracle jump in the backlines, finds PPD. Stun does land out onto him, so they want to follow up here. Tanner goes for the Lagoon, but actually cancels it in the last second. Now the Chrono comes down. Well, now goes Shadow Demon, but there's a BKB and a Chrono committed to him. Never mind, they get PPD as well. Okay, that's probably worth it. They'll grab themselves 2 kills. Miracle now godlike, ascending to the upper echelons. NiP, once again, caught out in these awkward engagements, and it feels like, you know, the arena, it catches people, it holds them still, but you don't have the heroes to come up and actually do anything in it, especially when there's not a Chrono available. It's,
I mean,
very hard.
It's a Chen with a Vlad Solar Crest.
Oh my god, they're trying to unleash onto the faceless Void, but they're going to keep him alive, and a great back wall coming down onto 3. Weeha dealing the damage as well. Lella's going to get chewed up and spat out. Tanner heading the same way as well, under his tier 4s, getting finished up, and all of a sudden, they might just go for this one. There's no buybacks at all. 80 seconds on Tanner, 53 seconds still on Lelis to hack, all by himself. What's the call from Nigma? They're going for the barracks. They want to play it safe.
These buildings just die so quickly. He has Daedalus on the Void as well. Like, his network is just through the roof at the moment.
You do the monster. Miracle is the scariest hero in Monster. He has destroyed your heroes, ruining your village, taking your buildings. What now, NiP? What is the game plan? Void has just had too much. Rough laning phase, but unfortunately, he was not put down after that, and now Nigma with a solid performance behind this Void comeback game. PPD. Well, that's one way to keep your melee barracks alive. Unfortunately, well, this is going to have to be a Mega Creep kind of game.
The Radiant now have Mega Creeps.
What a turnaround.
I mean, it has to be said though that Nigma are just completely controlling these fights. It feels like they're a lot more coordinated, kind of know what they want to be doing.
Yeah, they have a lot more schools in their box, and PPD TV's in the middle of everybody and ends exactly the way you'd expect it to. Dahak in some trouble as well, trying to get himself out of the way, gonna turn around, trying to use his double to keep himself alive. Doesn't he have buyback? He's not, he's 25 gold short, just trying to fight up into them right now, but they have got the damage to bring him down. Does have the buyback, gonna pop it, get himself back into the game. Meanwhile, Universe trying to do something here, but what are NiP actually trying to do here is they backing them down to the low ground. Hello, boys, come and fight us. Let's try to fight up with this BKB. Dahak on the sideline, so just getting controlled up as they jump the backlines. Find Tanner. Dahak as well in some trouble. They're going to be able to get through him, and this might be the Elmo Farah. Nigma are just running him around in circles. Dahak going to make it down to the low ground. Stun comes out. Damage is there. Dahak is dead. Meanwhile, the Mars also in similar difficulties. Miracle comes in, and that's going to be an ultra kill, ending the game with a GG from NiP. Game number 1, and it goes to Nigma.
Radiant.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I mean, I think I have to point out GH's game.